thing. So we're going to say, okay. Everybody see that? I have a lot of things to do. When you see this, what does this mean to you? What does this make you think? What does this mean to you? Anybody feel free to answer. Like we talk about, this is a interactive experience because this is how we learn. I have a lot of things to do. What does that, when you see that, what does that make you think? What does that mean? What does that make you think?
Well, it makes me think that someone is feeling overwhelmed or stressed or a lot is on their mind.
Okay. Okay.
Sarah put in the chat, exhausted.
Okay. Now watch this. Watch this. So what makes so Sierra, you said exhausted. You don't, I got that. So think about that. What makes this exhausting? Right? When we say exhausted, why did we say exhausted?
Maybe the word choice when you put a lot.
Okay.
Sarah answered the work you need to put into those things.
The work you need to, okay, so think about it. There's two words that are connected here that in order to understand this sentence best, we have to get. What are the two words? There's only two words in this whole sentence that mean everything.
A lot.
Nope. Good though.
Have,
like it. Like
have
it.
and have
Nope.
and things.
Nope. We're getting closer. Thank you for the participation.
To do.
Nope. That's good. This is the point. This is why we're here. Because every day we not feel like this, but this is a common sentence. I have a lot of things to do. This is just a saying. This is just, everybody can say this. I have a lot of things to do today. But how we feel about what we said is based on two words. This and this. These things are going to be based on who? This. So when we say exhausted, what we're essentially saying is we feel like this. And I'm going to do this on purpose. What does this say right here?
Things.
Things.
No, I said this right here. I didn't point to things. I said this. Yeah. Why do you think you're exhausted? This weighs 600 pounds. And this you can't even see. This is why you feel exhausted. This is why we feel overwhelmed. This sentence is neutral. When somebody says I have a lot of things to do today, we didn't say what they were. We didn't say anything about, but when we say I have a lot of things to do, the things, when we say exhausted or overwhelmed or things like that, it's not a lot that it is. It's not what's actually making us feel that way. It's the I that has to do these things, whether it's a lot or a little, right? If I only had to do one thing, but I had to get from here to New York in 12 hours, that would still be based on the I. What resources do I have to make that work? I only have to do one thing, but if I don't have the resources to make it work, it's still going to feel like that. Because the I is insufficient for the things or for the thing. if I don't have the money, if I don't have the strength, if I don't have the energy. So essentially what this sentence is saying is the I and the things are based on the I. If the I is not enough, the things overwhelm us. Things don't overwhelm us. They only can either overwhelm us or not bother us at all according to the strength of I, right? So now, right, then if that's the case, then we have to ask the question. Then who / what is I? What is that? If we understand this is a thing that has to do everything or one thing, 10 things, 5 things, today, tomorrow, this is always the one doing it. So according to what this is, determines how how we feel about what it is we're doing, 1 or 12 things. So then who is that? Right? Who do we know this to be? Right? So when we're saying I, we're saying, you know, Sierra, we're saying this person, that person. Yeah, we're talking about the I. But according to how we feel about the I, that is how we're going to feel about the thing or the things, how many things we're doing, if we're capable, if we're competent, if we can make it, if we can do it. Because we're always saying I can or I can't, I will or I won't. But that's based on what we believe the resource of this thing is. I is a resource. It's an ability. This is us. This is you. This is me. It's singular, I. It's a resource and ability. What we're saying, can I? Do I have? Can I do? Can I be? Whatever it is I want to do, be, have, whatever I have to do for the day, it's based on how strong or how weak this is. The things are neutral. They don't feel the same way to everybody. Everyone's not scared of the same things. Everyone isn't bothered by the same things. Some people can lift a 60-pound weight, some people can't. The weight isn't any bigger or smaller for someone else. It just feels bigger or smaller depending on how big or small the I is. Who or what is the I? We have to develop this. This is underdeveloped. That's why when we say something as, I have a lot of things to do today, we automatically panic. We go into panic mode. We automatically are overwhelmed and exhausted. And I'm grateful for your participation because it illuminates and elucidates what we're talking about. We automatically feel like as soon as we feel like we have a lot of things to do today, it's over. Can't do it. How am I going to do it? How am I going to be there? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Right? But that's only based on the I. If you had the resource to do it, if you had the time to do it, if you had the, well, whatever you have, you have. Whatever you have, you have. So if you can grow this I and make it like this and turn this like that, where the I was bigger than this, would it bother you? Isn't this how you feel when you have more money than you need? Isn't this how you feel when you've done whatever you need to do for the day and it's only 2 o'clock and you have the rest of the day to yourself and for yourself? When you have, right, when you have more time than responsibility or obligation, don't you feel bigger than what's left? So this is where we have to get to, right? This is the thing that has to be developed in order, because when this is this big, it feels, these things feel like that. When this is this big, things feel like that. But the things are just like a 60-pound weight. They're just like Monday or Tuesday, or they're just a neutral thing. But they don't feel the same according to who this I is. My I, your I, your I, your I, they're all different I's. Different levels, different strengths, different intensities, different awarenesses, different abilities. And then we take what the I has and we apply it to things. whether it's our health, our money, our business, whatever else it is. So when we say that statement, we really have to think about what we're saying. All I said was, I have a lot of things to do today, right? Of things to do today. Didn't say they were bad, didn't say they were good, didn't say they were impossible, just things to do. But we based that whole sentence, how we felt was based on what this ability to do, even if we want to say a lot, fine, it doesn't matter, but these things. If I is weaker than this, that we're going to feel overwhelmed, anxious, worried, stressed. So if that's what we're feeling and how often we feel that, it lets us know that this is smaller than what we're going after.
Sarah put in the chat, and the negative vote sailed in.
Right? It's natural in the sense of it is not natural. It's not our nature. It's not natural, but it's become normalized. So it feels natural. It's because this is the way society raises its children and we become adults. Right? When you have dreams like Joseph did and said, I'm gonna make it big. How many people tell you you can't? Why you can't? That you shouldn't. Stop dreaming. Get your head out of the clouds. I have a kid I used to train in basketball, and he started a company, t-shirt apparel company called Head in the Clouds. Right? So many people take their heads out of the clouds. But if your head's not in the clouds, if you're not looking up, where are you looking? And if you're looking straight, that's cool, but who are you looking at? Most people you're looking at straight aren't really that, either that successful or they're not really something you want to aspire to be. So then if you look down, that's where most people are looking. Most people don't have their head up. They've lost vision. They've lost their ability to imagine, to envision, to aspire, to be inspired, to have any ability to believe in themselves within. Their eye is weak. It's this big. When I pointed to it, nobody was like, well, just things. I didn't point to things. I pointed to eye, but it was so small, all you could see was the things. We have grown up with our eyes so small that things seem like mountains. Everything seems like a mountain. Every bill seems like a mountain. Every cough seems like bronchitis. Every headache seems like a brain tumor. Everything seems so much bigger and greater than us. So we're in a constant fight. We're in a gym called life. We're lifting weights all the time. So we've gotten stronger, but we've only gotten stronger to be able to tolerate something that we shouldn't even be tolerating in the first place. We've grown accustomed to tolerating things, to managing things instead of eliminating them. But we can't eliminate them because this little eye that you can't even see, what is it going to tell this thing that's that big? Only when you develop this to make this, now this big thing can talk to this thing and say, hey man, move out the way. Why do you think people want to be rich? Why do you think people want to be strong? Why do you think people want to be healthy or this or that? Because it's empowering. It gives you, it grows your eye, it grows your resource, it grows your ability in order to deal with the things that you're here in this situation to deal with, in this physical existence, this physical experience to deal with. So when we make this statement up here, I have a lot of things to do today, we all feel about it, just like when we say the word money, right? Everybody has a concept of what that is. Damn, I don't have any. I ain't got enough. Or, oh man, I'm doing all right. I got a great savings. It's a neutral statement. It's a neutral word, but everybody's relationship to it, how their eye feels about this determines whether they're up here with it or down here with it. Meaning when you say the word, the eye kicks on and says, my relationship to this is we ain't got it. We ain't had it. We ain't never really had it. We're not good at it. We don't make that much of it. We owe too much of it, right? Or somebody else can say, shoot, I'm always winning. I always got more than I need. My leaf is always green. My tree never ceases to bear fruit, right? Everything I touch turns to gold. There are rich people, there are poor people. Money is neutral. It's just what side of it, the fence you're on. right? So we have to grow this I in order to deal with the things that we have to do. Things are nothing when the I is big. Things are everything and the only thing when the I is little. And things, life, living, today, tomorrow, eating, drinking, whatever else it is, those are things. So according to whether this I is as big or small, those things are our relationship to those things. That's how we feel about them. Right? So we're going to talk about, does everybody understand that so far? Everybody with me?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Any questions on what I said so far? Okay. So how do we start developing this I? Right. I'm not going to get too deep into all the other stuff like I normally do. I'm going to try to keep it a little more because I want to make sure that you guys that we can use this. And I said of you guys, I said we. I'm listening to me too. I'm hearing too. Like all this stuff, I'm not here like I've made it. I'm not walking on the clouds. I am learning, listening, applying, and all this stuff. So I talk passionately, not to sell you something, not to say like I'm trying to convince you of something or convert you into anything. I'm talking passionately because I live what I'm talking about. Not because I'm perfect or perfect at it. I'm learning and applying it, but I apply what I'm talking about and what I'm saying. So that's all the passion and the loudness is. It's not trying to convince you of something or turn you into this or that, but I want you to understand what we're using this for, what it's for, right? So when we talk about the I, right? When we talk about that, like I said, first question is, right? Like, who is that? What is that? Like, who is that? When I'm talking about myself, when I say I, like who do I mean? Who is this I? Is this I capable? Is it competent? Does it feel strong? Does it feel weak? Does it feel like, how do I feel about myself? Like I said, I'm not going to go too far back, but really we're talking about our self-concept. What do we think about ourselves? What do we feel ourselves to be? When we make that statement, I have a lot of things to do, it's telling you how you feel yourself to be. You're saying, I'm not enough to do these things, or I don't feel like I'm not enough. I don't feel like I'm enough. That's what we're saying when we say that. We're saying, I can't afford today. That's what we're saying. I can't afford today. I can't lift that. Right? But somebody else can. What someone else struggles in, somebody else is successful with. Right? So the I, our self-concept, who are we? Right? And how do we know? Like, what are we doing to develop this I? Like, actually think about that. What are we doing every day to develop this I? If we have, I is a relationship with ourselves. If we have a relationship with a spouse or a kid or a boss or a friend or a best friend, that's just a different level of friendship. But the higher level of friendship you have, right, the more time with this person you spend or have spent. Right? So depending on your level of time that you spend with this, that's what this is. It's the level of your relationship, your self-concept. What you conceive, perceive, believe yourself to be. And you can always tell by when I put a statement out like that, what did we say? When we put a statement out about money, what do we say? How do we feel about ourselves in relationship to the outside? But the outside is neutral. So then how we feel about ourselves is really all that matters. What we know ourselves to be, believe ourselves to be, think ourselves to be, whatever else it is. So that means we have to develop this and we can handle anything outside. We're only handling things outside according to what this is, big or small. So when I wrote that and everybody answered, like I said, which I'm thankful for and everything, we're really professing this. We're speaking out loud what we believe this to be. A lot of times we don't even know what we believe ourselves to be until we start saying something. We don't really know that we were talking about this yesterday. Anybody ever Has anybody ever heard this term or felt this term? You don't have to say you felt it, but anybody ever heard this term or felt this term, like check to check, living check to check? Has anybody ever heard or felt that before? You don't have to say you felt it, but has anybody been familiar with this in any shape or form?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Listen to what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. Think before you speak. Living check to check. What is that really? Living check to check. Where is that really? What is that really? And how do you know that you're doing it?
To me, I feel like that means that the money that you get pretty much goes to bills and everything else. And then it's like you're doing everything all over, but not enough to possibly do other things that you want to do, if that makes sense.
Okay, yes, it does. How do you become aware of that?
When things need to be paid.
Yeah, and okay, yeah, they need to be paid. But still, there's what triggers it? What triggers your
Being
awareness?
broke, I guess.
Huh?
I guess being broke, like not
Okay.
having the
Being. What is being? When we say being broke, what is being?
So Tiffany in the chat said having enough money to go from one pay period to the next, and then she puts scarcity mindset.
Okay. So, okay, good, Tiffany. So what is being? You said being. That's the word I'm trying to get to. What's being? What is really being?
Being is you, and I think that it's your own. Because words have meaning, you place the value on that phrase according to how you think.
Yes, but when you're being that, what's happening? How do you know you're being?
You're engaged.
How do you know you're
because
being?
you're living it. You're living it.
Yeah, but okay, and so by living it, what happens?
It turns into the action of however you are thinking.
Yeah, but there's something in the middle.
You start to believe it. You do
Yes.
that. You believe that thing, so you do it.
Okay, so but belief is, I'll just give it to you, feeling. It's a feeling. When you're living check to check and you're paying them bills and you got 10 bills and you're sitting there with the bills and you have your computer right here and you're paying this bill and you see your account going minus and you do it again, you go minus. Are you believing? In that moment, are you believing? Anyone?
No, you're feeling.
You're feeling. You're feeling. Living check to check is a feeling that it becomes expressed physically. What I'm saying to you is that this physical thing that you're feeling when you're hitting that computer right then for a second, you are feeling, you're just made aware of the feeling right then. What I'm telling you is you're feeling it in between the check and the check. How do you feel the first Monday of the second week? So you got paid yesterday. So now you have all this weekend and this week. Now you got Monday, next Monday. So you still have from Monday to Friday. How are you feeling on Monday of that second week? If you're living like this. Anyone? How are you feeling? Did everybody disappear?
I think we thinking now.
Yes. And that's great, because that's what we're here to do. Is the only way you can be free. We don't realize that living check to check is a feeling. It expresses itself physically, but it's a feeling first. We think it's physical, so we think It doesn't work like that. We don't create something and then say, I never thought about it. We don't build a house and say, I never thought about it. We don't cook a meal and say, I never thought about it. Everything that we physically do was first a thought. Now, some things we do so consistently that we can do it subconsciously, like drive and talk on the phone. But if you look at it, you can only do one consciously. But they're still both thought. But one is just a habitual thought to the point you can do it subconsciously without your conscious attention. But none of those things, neither one of those things, driving or talking, could you do while doing something else when you first learned it. You had to do it by itself. It was all you did. Until you got to the point where you could do that through enough time and repetition to now make it a subconscious habit where you just a pattern, you know how to do it. Then you can focus your consciousness on something else. It is a feeling. Living check to check is a feeling that produces a physical thing. Just like a thought produces a physical thing. Outside, I'm not going to do it too much today, but what it was trying to tell you in the story of Adam and Eve, right, is Adam is really Atom. Eve means spirit, life-giving spirit, right? That's why life comes out of women, right? But the point is, when something had to change, when they were in the garden and something had to change, who was the first person that acted? When they were in the garden and they were just there, chilling, doing their thing, who was the first person that acted? Anyone?
A distraction.
Huh?
A distraction.
The first person that acted between these two people was Eve, because Eve is the one that ate whatever fruit it was. It never said it was an apple. It said it was a tree of good and knowledge of good and evil. That's what it said. It didn't even say it was a fruit, but it was a tree. She did something first and gave it to him. She, right, is the life-giving spirit. She is the thinker. She is the one that said from the inside, she was the emotion. She was the feeling. That's one of the original words for woman is feeling, emotion. You always have a feeling. It's a feeling that goes to be expressed physically. When we get into meditation, I'll show you that in a second. So then she said, I have a feeling. So she started the ball rolling. Then she gave it to him to make physical. We have thoughts. We have feelings that we think that turn into physical expression in our lives. And because we don't know the I, and we don't spend enough time with ourselves, we don't really realize how we work. We think we work physically, so we feel. Oh, because I got in this accident, I feel mad. We don't realize that at the highest level of thinking, because you were mad, you got into this accident. This accident was a physical reflection of your thought. Now, because you're mad, you may not have been mad yesterday or this morning. You might have been mad 2 days ago. But when you plant a seed in the ground, that's the law of sowing and reaping. When you plant a seed into the ground, it's going to come up unless you dig it up. So that's why it says don't go to bed mad and all the others. Like when you plant seeds, the longer you leave them within you, when you plant thoughts that you leave within you, they are going to come up. They just come up 2 weeks later and you didn't associate it with you going off and losing your mind and going to bed mad and walking around crazy for 3 days. You didn't realize that seed that you planted within you that has to come into physical expression. But because we don't spend enough time with I, we don't know how I works. That's why we're afraid of having a lot of things to do. We feel overwhelmed. We don't feel capable. How could we? I wouldn't trust a stranger to help me either. We're a stranger to our own selves. But we're out here trying to run businesses. We're out here trying to be parents. We're out here trying to do all these things outside of the I. With the I, literally, no matter where I wrote it, you can't see it. The I is that big. I could point down here. You can't see it. You don't know where the I is. You don't know where you are. We don't know where we are. But we're out here, just out here, just doing it. Right? Living check to check is a feeling. We just don't realize it until that money starts going down the account and we start paying the bills. How do we feel? That is what's actually creating that physical experience. So when we talk about business, give you another example. If I said to you, okay, so now that you guys are understanding that, right? Now that you're understanding that, then think about this. What is everybody see that? What is that? When people talk about that, I got to have multiple streams of income. All the rich people got multiple streams of income. They all have that. That's how you get rich. You got to have more than one stream. My mom has a company called 12 Streams. Everybody's out here streaming. Everybody's out here doing all kind of stuff. Streaming, meditating, manifesting. Everybody's doing all kind of stuff that they can catch it here. Right? What is that? Really, what is it? Just like we talked about living check to check and we realize it's a little different than what we think. It's a lot different. It's the exact opposite. What are multiple streams of income? What is that?
Peace of mind.
Somebody said peace of mind. Oh, okay. Peace of mind. That's the you can have peace of mind in a whole lot of places that other people can't.
Mhm.
When I started learning how to box years ago, and I had a trainer, and he was throwing, and he used to be a professional, and he was throwing his fists at me in my face, I had no peace. Not even a little bit. I was a grown man, balled up in the corner, back turned, running, putting my hands over my head. I was doing everything because I didn't know how to deal with that pressure. Fighting and boxing are not the same things. Somebody who knows what they're doing, knows how to hit you, where to hit you, and everything else. As a whole, and that ring, when people say in boxing, oh, they're running, he runs all the time. Listen, that is cap. That ring is not big enough to run. Trust me, I have tried every inch of it. It ain't far enough. You can't run, right? So, but after a while, I learned how to see that. I learned as soon as he moved his shoulder, I'd learn to move, or I duck my head, or I would stay in position in case it was a fake or a feint, in case it was something he wanted me to move to so he could throw something else. But I learned that. So over time, those fast punches started to slow down. They didn't feel the same. You train your body so when you get hit, it doesn't hurt the same. It's training, right? You become conditioned to something. So that thing that made you afraid at first doesn't make you afraid anymore. You're like, yeah, man, whatever. You caught me on that one, right? But it doesn't even hurt the same. Like you don't get hit the same. You don't get hit as often. You learn how to take shots better. You learn how to do, but that takes time and training, right? So peace of mind is personal, and it has to be developed. Only you can give it, and only you can give it away. Only you can create peace. Peace is it already exists, but only you can experience it based on your own choice. Only you can either experience it or take yourself away from it. Because some people find peace in the craziest places. Some people can't find peace, and you're like, are you serious? You can't find peace here? It's a personal thing. It is a non-personal thing in the sense of it exists for everyone. Peace exists for everyone, but everyone doesn't know how to occupy it. Oxygen's for everyone. Some people have a hard time breathing. Some people may have asthma. Some people may have bronchitis. So their physical experience doesn't allow them to experience what's available to everyone. So then what is multiple streams of income? What are they really? Anyone? Bueller?
Tiffany wrote a choice.
Okay, a choice. Whose choice?
It's our
Mine.
choice.
Say it again.
My choice.
Your choice. So, okay, and so multiple streams of income are your choice, the I's choice, right? Okay. What choice? How do you make that choice?
You have to understand what you have either potential at or what are your strong suits. Potential, strong suits,
Okay. When
or skill
I said,
sets.
okay, when I said, I don't know if you were here when I said this, I have a lot of things to do today. So what I'm good at or my strong suits, how do I know what those are?
I'm
By
gonna
knowing
say
myself?
Who is that, Tiffany? Say it again.
Yes, by knowing myself. So I
Correct.
can identify what my strengths are or what I'm good at. And then I choose what I'm going to commit to.
Based on who you are. So then I, now, when we talk about, I'll get to a little bit more when we get to meditation, but this is, so essentially, this is a thought that, or like you said, thought or choice based on who you are. Okay, so then this isn't actually a physical thing then. In its actual creative point, it's not a physical thing. It is expressed physically at the end. Secondarily, it's the effect. It's not the cause. This is the cause. What I is thinking, choosing, feeling, believing is the multiple streams of income. It means based on when I know who I am, I now leave myself open and available in my mind to have multiple streams of success or income, and I don't limit it because I'm not limited. The I, the you, the true you is not limited. So if you leave your mind open to saying, okay, if I just said I'm wealthy, doing what? Now it can express itself in 1,000 different things. So then wealth isn't being a basketball player or being a doctor or a lawyer or it's just a certain level of success monetarily. But if it can be expressed 1,000 ways and you leave yourself open by saying, okay, you know what? I'm now going to attach myself to this thing. Wealthy, just like we attach ourselves to a spouse. Who was that? Before we met them, who was that? They were just as what's the word I'm looking for? This is not a specific person. You made it a specific person. This isn't a specific industry. You chose that industry to go into. But really what you attach yourself was not the industry or the spouse that you attached yourself to is nothing but a physical reflection of your desired experience, which was to be married, let's say. So you attach yourself to the state and let the state drive you to the physical expression of itself. If you just go after a person, you can get married but not be happy with it. You can be wealthy and jumping off a building. You can be wealthy and die like Steve Jobs with $4 billion in your personal checking account. You can, if you attach yourself to the state and you let the state drive you to the end of it, to the expression of itself. By claiming yourself to be, you attach your I to that. That's how you get the right person or the right industry. What's happening is we're attaching ourselves to, we're saying, okay, well, based on what I think and my strengths and my weaknesses, how do we know what those are and we don't even know us? When I just simply said, I have a lot of things to do today, people fell out. People were stressed out over something that wasn't even real. Right? Using that exaggeratively, right? But that's what we think. It's true. It's true. It is Halloween, night of horrors, 362 days a year. Maybe I'll give you Christmas off, your birthday off, and maybe a little vacation or your significant other's birthday or your kids. But Pretty much we're living in a house of horrors. There's this one thing around the corner, one fright to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And you wonder why we got high blood pressure, anxiety, worry, fear, depression. You wonder why. We're in a constant state of fight or flight. We're in a constant state of panic. It's constant. Whether it's over our money, over our health, over our relationship, over our job, over our kids, over our neighborhood, over our friendships, over our whatever. Oh man, I'm getting old. Oh, I mean, we literally will find some stuff. Hey, no, listen, let's be real for a second. Let's be real for a second. Watch this. Let's be real for a second. Like everybody, I want you to like wipe your mouth, everything. Like, let's just sit down. Watch this, watch this. So, have you for a second in life, have you ever for a second in life been doing like so well? Maybe it was a week or like 3 days, but long enough where everything was going so good that you literally forgot to worry and then got worried that you forgot to worry? Like, you know, like when you get in your car and you're like, oh shoot, I left my jacket at home. Like, have you ever literally been doing well enough in life for just long enough where you literally started panicking because you realized you forgot to worry? You're like, oh, I haven't worried in like 3 days. Oh man, I'm behind. Like you realize like, what did I forget to worry about? We forgot. For a couple days, a couple week, whatever, we forgot. Like I literally have had that happen like 2 or 3 times where I'm like, shoot, I haven't worried in 3. Man, what am I? Like that. We are literally walking through a house of horrors, going from one worry to the next, one fear to the next, all because our eye is too small. But our eye is too small because we don't know who or what it is. All right. So now we're going to talk about a couple things because I also want to leave it open for some questions. And please interrupt, please ask questions, raise your hand, shout, yell, do whatever you got to do if you have any questions, because I want to give you guys what you want to know. There's so many things to talk about. That's why I ask questions. That's why I, telling you to participate, because I have 1,000 things to say, but I want to make sure that I say the things that you guys want to know, that you want to hear about, because I'm always listening. I'm talking and listening. So it all works for me. So whatever you want to know or whatever else, let me know. Okay. So there's 2 things. There's 2 things I'm going to say to you that we can use to develop this eye just today. Starting today, we have to develop this eye. You have to understand that. Your self-concept, what you believe yourself to be capable of, that you can handle, that you can do, and grow and develop that all the time. And then I have a lot of things to do, and a lot won't scare you. A lot won't scare you. Things won't scare you. They're only scaring you according to you, to who you are. And sometimes we don't realize what we are until we start to feel it. We're like, oh, God, just hearing something makes you nervous. Yeah, because that's exactly what you truly feel. And so we have to develop that and grow that. So we're going to do that today in 2 ways, right? First one we're going to talk about is meditation. So I'm going to explain it. This guy named Bill Donahue really explains this really well. So I'm going to take his thing. So there's a dot right here. This is you. The true you. Then there's a circle right here. There's a circle here and a circle here. All right. So this dot in the middle is you. This first circle, well, I'll start from the outside. This first circle on the outside is activity. I have a lot of things to do. The second one right here is thoughts. When we're thinking about all the things that we have to do. This last circle are feelings. How we feel about what, thoughts and activity. And this on the inside is us. Okay, so we're going to talk about meditation. We're going to talk about 2 ways, just 2 ways today we're going to use to grow this eye. Okay. Now, every time, if you notice, every time I talk about something and start something new, right? And I start something new. We talked about all these different things. After I did that and I wanted to start on something new, what did I do? What did I do here? We talked about Adam and Eve for a second, as far as what that part of what it really means. We talked about I have a lot of things to do today. Once I went off of those things, what did I do? What did I do here?
Clean the board.
Clean the board. First part of meditation, clean your mind. You cannot, I'm gonna mess this up right now, but you cannot sit here and be like, oh yeah, I got groceries, and I gotta get some lemon, hot dog, and then you up in here, and then you all up in here, and you're like, what does that say again? Like, we
Yeah, that's
like
me.
now what? What we got? This is exactly what's happening in our mind. We got that. Then what happened then? So then guess what? So then while we're thinking about that, then, then our mom calls, kids are out here talking about they're hungry. Oh man, I forgot to pick up my jacket from the cleaners, right? And now this gets 58 different colors. And you're out here trying to figure out who you are, and you can't even find out where you are. You don't even know what's going on. So then you close your eyes, right? And your eyes are like a zoo. You close your eyes, and your mind's like a zoo. You can see animals swinging, you hear noises, then you're like, oh shoot, I forgot. You can't even, the first thing is to clear your mind. First thing, I go on and on with 1,000 examples, but I think you get the point. First thing is we have to clear our mind. We have to wipe all this off. Wipe it. Now, I'm not talking about, we all have lives. The goal is not to meditate, to live with your eyes closed. The goal is to close your eyes long enough, well enough, consistently enough to be able to live with your eyes open like they're closed. To be able to live with the peace and the clarity that you get when you start to have a relationship with yourself and know who you are. That you can hear yourself in the noise like you could in the silence. And you could feel your feelings and feel your guidance while you're living with your eyes open in the world. And your inner peace not be disturbed. You're not here, it doesn't mean we don't get upset. It doesn't mean we don't do this or that, but you learn how to live without being so disturbed all the time. We've been in before the pandemic for sure. You know how many people were around us in the office? If we couldn't work without distraction, no work would ever get done on the planet. If we had to be the only one on the highway or the freeway and no one could be around us, we couldn't get anything done. So we've trained our certain parts of ourselves to be able to work with a whole bunch around us. Well, we have to learn how to live that way, where we're in the world, right, but not of it, right? Where we can be in this environment, but the environment not dictate or determine who we are or aren't, right? So the first thing we do, like, isn't this nice? It's nice. This is nice. Get it all off real good, clean it up real nice, right? That's nice. You can work with that. You can breathe with that. Like, this is the first thing. The first part of it is just to clear your mind. What does that mean? It means sit down somewhere to the best of your ability where you won't be disturbed. We all have different lives. You may have to do it in the car. You may have to do it on the toilet. You may have to do it showers, a little bit different, but try to find somewhere where you can just sit down for a second. You may have to do it in the car. You may have to do it on the couch. Do it when nobody's home. Do it when you're dry, get to work and sit in the parking lot for 3 minutes before you go in, like whatever else it is, right? But get somewhere quiet just for as much time as you can spare. It doesn't have to be hours, doesn't have to be, doesn't have to be a long time, right? Give it the time you can, but on a consistent basis, sit down and clear your board. Clear your mind. When you sit down, when you first start doing it, you'll have 1,000 thoughts. It'll seem like a zoo. It'll seem like Black Friday. It'll seem like the purge. You're going to want to get up. You're going to want to go get your coffee. You're going to want to go, you're going to want to go, oh, let me go tell my kid one more thing. You're going to want to do 1,000 things because your eye is not used to sitting down. You have not trained yourself to be able to sit in quiet like you've trained yourself to be able to sit in the office with 1,000 people around you and still get your work done. Like you've been able to drive on the highway or the freeway with 1,000 people around you and still get to where you're going. You're able to get in and out of them, merge behind them, put your blinker on, honk. You're able to do 1,000 different things to get to where you're going with 1,000 people around you. But that's just training. It's just training. It's not superhuman. It's just training. This is the same thing. It's not superhuman. It's just training. It just takes time, right? And persistence, like you learned how to drive, like you learn how to type, like you learn how to cook, like you learn how to do anything else. Just time and repetition. Time and repetition. You sit down and clear your mind. What does that mean? It means take, the first part of cleaning this board is take no thought. That means don't take a thought with you. When you sit down and you're cleaning your mind and you're cleaning your board, it means you sit down, you close your eyes, you relax to the best of your ability. It takes time. You sit down and relax to the best of your ability. You close your eyes. And then, like I said, let the games begin, especially when you first start. You're going to be like, this ain't working. I don't know what the hell is happening. I'm hearing people's voice I haven't talked to in 25 years. I remember this Tupac story that I thought I've heard. You're gonna see stuff coming up in your mind from all kind of places, right? And what do? You take no thought. That means you don't bring a thought in. And the ones now that are coming are the ones that are already inside. How do you deal with that? Like a parade, you just let them go. Just let them go. Just let them walk by.
Sarah put in the chat, erasing the board is me sleep.
Right? So you just let them go by. Don't take a thought in. Erase the thoughts you have before you close your eyes, meaning just don't take them in with you. Don't worry, they'll be there when you get out. Don't worry, they'll be there when you get out. You can still do whatever you thought you was gonna do afterward. They'll be there. Don't take a thought in. And when you're cleaning your board, literally just close your eyes and let all the thoughts go by. Let the ideas, let everything go by. Don't stop it. Don't entertain it. Don't judge it. Don't criticize it. Don't curse anybody out in your mind. Don't say, oh yeah, as soon as I get out of here, I'm about to tell him that too. Don't do any of that. Let all the thoughts go by. It'll take a little bit. I'm not saying how long, everybody's different, right? But clean your board, clear your mind, right? And then what will eventually start happening, and like I said, everybody's timing is different. What'll start happening though is you'll start hearing your I. You'll start hearing yourself, your true self. You'll start hearing yourself, and you'll start hearing the voice get louder. This I will start going like this. Then start going like this. You'll start to feel more of yourself. You'll start to be in touch, in tune more within your inner self, your true self, what people call God, or nature, or universe, or whatever you want to call it. For anyone, doesn't matter. You'll start to hear it more. You'll be able to hear it talking to you. It'll be like your own voice. You'll hear it, right? It just takes time and patience. But it will say to you, you won't have to have your own thoughts. You're not taking any thoughts in. It's communicating with you from the inside out. That's what living paycheck to paycheck is. It's communicating you from the inside out. It's telling you, man, we feel broke. We feel paycheck to paycheck. We feel not enough. We feel like I have more bills than money, right? I have more days than money, right? That's a feeling. And that feeling is interpreted into a thought, right? That's then expressed into the body, right? So first, take no thought, clear your mind, close your eyes and just sit quietly. You don't have to do any Herculean feats. And it'll be almost like water. Once you get used to drinking it, at first you're like, oh, I'm trying to drink more water. And at first it's hard. You have to go to the bathroom all the time and all the other stuff. But after a while, you start to actually crave it and look forward to it. So just start with a little bit. Start with 3 minutes, 5 minutes. You'll increase it on your own. You'll start to look forward to it. Crazy as it sounds, you'll start to look forward to it. And it won't be like, oh, I'm a meditator and all the, like, no. Right? So right, you're just clearing your mind. Close your eyes. Don't take any thoughts. Don't take anything from the outside in. Just literally close your eyes, get comfortable, sit down for a couple minutes. If you want to set a little timer so that you don't fall asleep or so you don't whatever, but you just close your eyes and let the games begin for a little bit. But as you get better and better and better and better, meaning it'll just be easier, and you'll feel yourself like anything else, getting better at it. You'll hear yourself and things will be clear. You'll be calmer. You'll look up in 15 minutes. You thought it was 5 minutes, but you're doing it for yourself. This is to develop the I. This is not for you to be no pope, no pastor, no priest. This is not for you to be a good person, be moral and ethical. This is not for that. This is to develop the eye so that having a lot of things to do doesn't scare you. That no matter what you have things to do or people or places or whatever going and doing, that you're bigger than all of it because you are truthfully. But we don't know it because we don't know us. We don't even know what we have to offer. We are literally like physically, we are window shopping our true self. We're standing on the outside and we never go in, right? So that's what this first thing is, right? So when I drew this circle, right? When I drew the dot here, then I drew this first circle, the second circle, and the third circle. The third one is activity. So when we close our eyes, right? We have to let go. That's the first thing. We're stopping activity now. We're stopping. So now we have to stop that. So then we start going in. Now we're going in now, then that's when let the games begin. We're gonna have thoughts of Tupac, Biggie, our 8th grade dance. We're gonna be out there like, oh yeah, I remember when you're gonna be thinking of stuff that you haven't thought of in God knows how long, right? It could because you're not consciously thinking now. Now you're just letting the brain just do whatever it does, but you'll realize the mind yourself do whatever it does, but you realize like it's just out here running wild because you don't have a relationship with it, you haven't talked to it, you don't spend any time with it, you don't know it, and it don't know you in that respect. So you go from activity, then you go inward into thinking. Then you get to your feeling, right? Then you start to get to how you feel. You start to feel yourself. You'll start to feel. You'll start to feel like, you start to realize like, oh man, I feel nervous, or I feel anxious, or I feel strong, or I feel sad, and it's just a thought, let it go. You're not here to entertain it, just let it go. But then eventually, as you get better and better and better, you get to yourself. This is the I. This is the real you, not the physical thing we see, but the being, the power in it, the energy, the consciousness, the awareness in it that makes what we see alive. This is what we're developing our relationship with. This is the thing that's going to be bigger than I have a lot of things to do, then paycheck. This will grow. And as this grows, why am I talking about this? Because as this grows, this I grows, all of your concepts of multiple streams of income, you'll be open to more things because you're bigger. You'll be bigger than paycheck to paycheck. You'll be bigger than it. You'll have several paychecks. Your paychecks will get bigger because you're developing the I. Just like when our feet get bigger, we have to buy bigger shoes. Just like when we have more family, we have to get a bigger place. It's a natural function, it's a natural progression of having to grow the outside to handle the inside. Right? So the first way is you're going activity. You're calming yourself down, you're stopping, you're sitting down, you're closing your eyes. Then your thoughts turn on for sure. Let the games begin. It'd be like the Hunger Games. You're gonna see the things run across your mind and you're gonna think it was a real person, right? But you're thinking your thoughts and you just let them go. Just let them go by. Don't be mad at them. Don't judge them. Don't criticize them. Just let them go and just stay calm. Just relax. Stay relaxed. Then you'll start to feel your feelings, right? And then you will get to the I. And the more time you spend with it, like any relationship, the more it develops. The more understanding it has of you and you of it. The more it talks to you, the more you talk to it. That is what people call God, nature, Allah, Buddha. Doesn't matter what you call it. That is what we're talking about. As you grow this, as you go inward, it will come back outward. So here's the first thing. Take no thought. Clear your mind. Meditation, clear your mind. First one. Second part, meditation. Is now, so this is all for the I. Now, second part of meditation is, so now we've cleaned the board and we've gone from out in. Now we are going to so first we cleared our mind. Now we are going to fill our mind like a basket. Like when you go to the grocery store and you go shopping, not just pick up a couple things where you don't need a cart or you just put some in your hand. But when you go shopping, the first thing you want to start off with is a clean cart. You've cleaned your cart. Now you are going to fill it. So now you have cleared your mind. Now you're going to fill your mind. So we're going to go right back to this same thing. Going back out, back out, back out. So now you have the I again, right? The you, the I, the me. We have feeling. We have thinking. And we have activity. Now we are going to, our mind is clear. So you don't have to do this all at once. You can, in the morning, you may clear your mind. In the evening, you may fill it. You may do 5 minutes of this and 5 minutes of that. I do all kind of stuff. It doesn't matter to me. But I'm learning, right? How to do these things, just like I'm talking to you guys. Just because I'm teaching you something doesn't mean A, you don't know, or B, that I've mastered it. It just means I'm talking to you about what I know based on experience and all the different things. That's all it is. That's why I say, you're not following me. It's not that, right? I'm just giving you information that you can follow. So I always encourage you to research, spend time with it and all that different stuff and figure it out, because at the end of the day, in order for you to be free, you have to have your own mind and you have to know how to change it, choose it, and control it. That is where life is lived. It's expressed in the body. It's lived in the mind, right? So now that you cleared it, now you're going to feel it. So now you are going to, you're starting from here, so to speak, right? And now you're going back out. So now you're going to start filling your mind with feelings. Feelings of what do you want to feel? What do you want things to be like for you? How do you want things to go today or in your life overall or whatever else is? You start filling yourself from the inside out with feeling of your success, of your happiness, of your health, of multiple streams of income. That's nothing but a thought or an idea. It's nothing but a feel. It's nothing but, that's all it is. And it's expressed physically. Physical things aren't made, they're not made on their own. They're made from the inside out. So you're going from inside out with feeling. You're choosing what you want to feel and to be, to do, or to have, being who you want to be. How does that feel? You're choosing your feelings of safety, of security, of peace. This is how you can have it anywhere you go. It's not depending on the outside world. You don't have to pay $3,000 to go into no dark room like Aaron Rodgers. Right? If you don't know, look it up. Now, I'm sure it was more than 3,000, but he went on some darkness retreat. And you sit in the room for days in the dark and okay, cool. Ain't nothing wrong with it, not mad at it. Sometimes it's good to get away from people just as much as it is places, and vice versa, right? But I'm saying peace is a self-created thing. You can have it or not have it in any situation, right? So you start with the feeling. Then you say, okay, now what thoughts do I want to create? Man, I'm prosperous. All the world meets me well and treats me kindly. Everyone is a link in the chain of my good. Right? Oh man, everywhere I go, I get there on time or early. I get there safely and securely. I'm always taking the best routes to get there. Everything is always good for me. Man, you know what? I'm always healthy, or my footsteps are always guided, or my paths are always directed. Like, you choose what thoughts you want to entertain. That's another word for meditation, is entertainment. What are you entertaining? What are you spending time with? What's rolling around in your mind like you'd be spending time with that thing in your house, with that person that you've invited? What thoughts and feelings are you inviting? Are you spending time with? Are you getting to know? Are you building a relationship with? Right? Then, right, that will then influence your activity. What you do physically is coming from the combination of your thoughts and feelings that your I amness, your I, you have developed and are developing. And the bigger this gets, the bigger this gets, the bigger this gets, and the better this gets. This is where you develop everything: your health, your business, your success, your relationships, your money, your peace, your sanity. All of that is developed from the inside out. So what we are doing here in the Mental Academy is consciously doing it. We are making a decision on what we feel. We're not saying, oh, he done made me mad, I'm about to give him a piece of my mind. Well, if you give him a piece of your mind, guess what's missing? A piece of your mind. Anybody got a piece of their mind they want to give up? Anybody? I mean, I'll take it. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can refurbish it, remodel it, or maybe it's better than what I got. So if anybody would like to, just hit me on the chat. something, let me know if you offer it. Right? So we're developing our experience from the inside out. When you have a business, right? That's an activity. It's based on your thought and feeling of what is it, of what isn't it. Is it successful? Is it not? Do you have to work 90 hours a week? Do you have to not see your family? Do you have to grind? Do you have to hustle? Do you want to hustle forward or do you want to hustle backward? But you shouldn't hustle backward, but I don't know any power or being that's hustling in the first place. So hustling backward ain't worse than hustling forward. The truest power ain't hustling. They're creating. They're not competing. They're creating. There is no one like you on this planet. You are the only one of you. You are one of one forever. You don't, why would you compete with someone when you can't be them and they can't be you? You can't even offer what they offer and they can't offer what you can offer. Why don't you give the best offering you can, which is yourself? That uniqueness that you are is the uniqueness you have to offer, even if it's in a business. It doesn't matter because the business is not a thing. You are the thing that makes the business alive. So the business is going as you go. So the business will be as unique as you are. You don't have to compete. All you have to do is create out of your own uniqueness, your own I am, who you really are. Right? So that second part of this is to now say, I'm going to fill up my mind like air in a balloon with the feelings I want, the thoughts. So now in my mind, I'm just kind of talking to myself. I'm not, you can talk out loud. I kind of just talk in my mind. I just hear my mind talking. I just talk in my mind. But I'm thinking about the feelings I want. I'm conjuring up the feelings I want, just like we're cooking on a stove, like we cooking in the pot, cook it up. Order it up, just like a restaurant.
Kim put in the chat, this is good, self-talk has saved.
Yes, self-talk is your salvation or your damnation. Because no matter what you do and who you are, we are always talking to ourselves. We can't help it. That's when we'll get to affirmations next. Can't help it. You're always talking to yourself. You're always thinking and feeling. What we do here is do it consciously. We learn how to do it consciously. So just like so we can learn how to drive a car. It's like learning how to drive a car. We got to get somewhere. We might as well take the best transportation we can and learn how to use it. But we're all going somewhere. So if you want to walk and make it harder, cool. Well, that's like being unconscious, living unconsciously. We're making things harder than they have to be because we're not using what's available to us because we don't know how. That's what we're doing. So the second one is you're filling your mind. The first one is you're erasing your mind. So you're going from the outside in, clearing the board. Now you're going to clear in your mind. Now you're going to fill your mind with the feelings you want, the thoughts you want, and how the outcomes of that in your activity. This is what I'm doing, and this is how it's going for me. I will declare and decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. That's what you're doing. You're declaring and decreeing, and it coming to pass in your activity. So these are two ways to meditate that you can do anytime. They don't cost you nothing. You don't have to be anywhere special except just somewhere where you can do this well enough for yourself, where you feel quiet enough and peaceful enough, and that's it. You don't have to do it for Herculean amounts of time. It's just you getting to know you growing the I. Right? Okay, next thing, affirmations, and because I want to leave at least a couple minutes for, so this is one, right? Meditation. Developing the I. One, we're going to use meditation for that. Two, we're going to use affirmations. Now, here's what I mean by affirmations. Affirmation. First kind of affirmation, like rote memorization. You know how when you're in elementary, especially, and you're learning multiplication and things like that, or addition, especially math a lot, you use a lot of times tables and addition and subtraction. Like they give you sheets and you do it over and over and over and over and over. Everybody familiar with that?
Yes.
That's it. Because I don't know. I mean, I think I'm trying to be super spectacular, but I still don't read minds yet. And I can't see through anybody's faces, so I gotta make sure people still breathing out here, right? Rote memorization. Rote memorization. So literally just saying something in your mind over and over. I am healthy. You can say I am wealthy. You can say whatever you want. Just literally 2 times 2 is 4. 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 Now we say it like that. We still have to think about it just like a 6-year-old does. But we process it so fast because of repetition, we don't even realize we're thinking it. But we still had to. Because if I say 2 times 3, your answer has to change. Right? So, but we have just done it so many times that we don't even realize we're doing it. So literally just affirming, deciding what you want to say about yourself and saying it over and over and over and over. Not like a parrot or a parakeet. I don't mean like that, but I'm talking about just the concept of constantly talking to yourself. Faith comes by hearing. When you hear something over and over and over. Hitler said, if you want people to believe a lie, make it big, make it bold, and repeat it often. He was the father of propaganda. Edward Bernays, who is Sigmund Freud's nephew, is the actual father of propaganda. Hitler used it first. He understood the concept of the mind. That's how he brainwashed a whole country and rolled through half of Europe, right? Because he would sit there and play out all this stuff on the radio and cars, put speakers on top of the cars and talk about, Germany and how great they are. And he got the people to believe that over and over and over. That's how he did that. Right. And Sigmund Freud was out that way. And he had a nephew named Edward Bernays. He is the father of propaganda. He's the one that said, eat breakfast. He's the one that got women smoking cigarettes like it was a liberation movement. He's the one that did all that. But propaganda, but understanding the mind, understanding that when you repeat something over and you tell it over and over and over and over and over, sooner or later, it starts to believe it. Because it doesn't care whether it's true or not. It only cares that you feel it to be true. And when you say something over and over and over, after a while, it's not even that it's true. You just feel it to be true. You just after a while, you're just like, F it, I'm just going, man, whatever. I'm just going to go ahead and just. So rote memorization, just saying things to yourself. Like I said, now when you can combine it with feeling, like when you say it over and over and it starts to click, where you actually start to feel it, that's when it'll really start clicking. But like a second grader, right? You just have to get them to know 2 times 2 is 4. I don't care if you like it, know it, feel it, believe it, know what you're going to do with it. You don't pay taxes yet. Your mama haven't given you any money yet. Doesn't matter. I want you have to get this fundamental understanding of what this is. 2 times 2 is 4. So you are going to literally, through rote memorization, if you want to write a couple things down that you want to ultimately experience in your physical world. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I have 12 streams of income. I have unlimited streams of income, because streams of income are only thoughts and ideas. And as you being the I, you're unlimited. You can think anything. Right? So I have unlimited streams of income. I'm always healthy. I'm always safe. Whatever you want. You may say 1 or 2 things. You may say 1 thing a day, just all day. Doesn't matter. Say it over and over and over, rote memorization. That's 1. 2, you can use it as conversation. Everything is after your attention. Your parents, your friends, your siblings, your job, your significant other, your kids, the news, your apps, your phone, your watch, everything is after your attention. Buzzing, ringing, playing, singing, everything is after your attention. Everything is trying to converse with you. And the reason we lose our mind is because it has been hijacked by everyone else talking to it. And not us. Everybody else is talking to it. Everybody's got great ideas for you. Everybody's telling you how to live, what you should eat. You should be vegan, or you should be a Muslim. You should be, you should be going this carb diet, low carb. You should live in California. Oh no, you should not pay taxes. You should be sovereign. Everybody got an idea about everything, and everybody's talking to you and hijacking your mind. We're just being hijacked. We don't know how many times we've been robbed. People have broken into our mind and robbed everything. Right? We don't even realize it. So what we're going to use affirmations for now in the second form is to choose what we say to ourselves. We're going to talk to ourselves. Not in rote memorization, but just a conversation. You know what? I'm getting better every day in every way. Instead of turning on the radio and letting, God knows, Charlemagne the God talked to you, right? Talk to yourself. But a lot of people don't know how to do that because they ain't seen this dude or this woman, they ain't seen this person, and they don't know how long. They done been on the run from I like a fugitive, right? So taking the conversation, choosing our own conversation, instead of turning on the radio and letting them talk to you, sing to you, rap to you, dance to you, and everything else, or tell you there's a war, there's a famine, there's a scare, chickenpox, bird flu, swine flu, H1N1, pandemic, recession, depression, they laying everybody off. I mean, everybody's talking to you, and then you wonder why your mind is gone, or crazy, or afraid. Because of everything you're letting, who's talking to you, and what are they talking to you about? Right? So now we're going to use affirmations just as just meaning just conversation. Yes.
Sarah just was laughing and said, me looking at the news.
Yeah. It's because, we talk about it all the time. The news is like, when people don't realize, like, it is like, nobody likes to be told what to do, right? Especially as adults, but kids don't even like it.
Marcus said he thought you were a rapper.
Man, listen, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to my multiple streams. You might see me up. You might see me on the verses. You know what I mean? I'm not above the streams. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm open to everything, right? So we don't like to be told what to do, yet we're programmed every day. What do they call? Don't they call it radio programming? Don't they call it television programming? And all they're doing is telling you a vision. They're not telling you what's happening. They're not telling you what's happening. They're telling you what's going to happen. And where are they doing it from? They sitting right next to you while they're lying to you, or making you sick, or making you believe. They're controlling your mind. Are they sitting right next to you? No, we know what they're doing it. They're doing it remotely. Like we all like to work from home now. Remote work. Everybody like that? Yeah, it means we not where we had to be to get something done. We can do it from here now. So yeah, they gave you a remote control to program you via radio, television, all the apps. Why do you think all the app designers, if you ever go on YouTube and look up all the app designers and let them tell you how often they let their kids get on that stuff? And they all will tell you like, no, she's not old enough, he's not old enough, or I limit it to 30 minutes a day, or whatever else it is. Because they know what it's doing. It's all designed to get your attention. They're conversing with you constantly. But they're telling you about the Ukraine. They're telling you about the pandemic. They're telling you about all these recessions and depressions, and the economy's bad, and you can't sell anything, and you can't, and then your mind is just, what does it say? It's rote memorization. It comes by hearing. They're telling you over and over how bad things are. And guess what you believe? How bad things are. And then when you believe how bad things are, guess what? Just like thinking, like feeling, thinking, activity. Yeah, they're controlling your think, they're controlling your feeling by what they're telling you, makes you start thinking it's true, then it becomes active in your life. And they're nowhere around, and you think you're a boss. You think you've grown. You think you're in control. You're not of anything because of who you're listening to. You don't get to pick any of these shows. You only get to pick which one you watch. You don't get to pick what comes on TV. You don't get to pick what they do or what they don't do or what they stand for, what they're telling you. You just get to consume what they decide to give you. Right? Why do you think kids, when they go like, Mom, will you buy me this cereal? Because they know just because you bought something in the house don't mean they like it. They fight for their own right. Same thing. Right? So conversation. Just talking to yourself. You do it anyway. So tell yourself good things. Have conversation. This is what I mean by affirmations in the second form. Talk to yourself. Hey man, every day and every way I'm getting better and better. You know what? I have that new job I want. Yeah, that one right there. I have that new job I want. Or you know what? I'm healthy. Or I'm every day you just talk all day. You just talk to yourself. You're doing it anyway. If you're not talking to somebody, you're talking to you. We're just making you aware of it, but that's what you're doing. So it doesn't matter whether you like it or think it, it's happening. So we're just making ourselves aware and conscious that we can pick and choose what conversations we have and we're listening to. It's like we pick and choose a radio or a television station. But now we can program our own selves. Right? We can do it directly. We don't have to be remote. We can tell our own vision of what's to come. So let somebody else tell you. Would you rather say, I'm a millionaire, or would you rather somebody tell you you're going to get laid off? They're both visions. But you believe if somebody tell you they get laid off, it ain't no vision to you, it's true. But if you're telling yourself I'm a millionaire, that's a vision. So I have to meditate on that and I have to affirm it 50 times. But you let somebody who don't even know you, don't care nothing about you, tell you something once and you believe it. But if you can't even tell yourself something and believe it, how do you think? Why do you think these things, a lot of things to do is too much and overwhelming? That's why. Because you believe them more than you. But why? Because you know them better than you. I believe a family member before a stranger. Are you guys getting this? Because I'm hot today. I'm like, I'm on fire. Are you guys getting it? This is real stuff.
Yeah, we with you. We with you. We with you.
Right? That's it. I'm doing heat checks and everything. I'm hitting from like the hash now. I'm like Steph Curry out here. That's it. So, right? So these are two things that you can do, right? One, right? In the affirmations, rote memorization. Just, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm strong. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm strong. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm strong. Whatever one works for you. And you just literally hypnotize yourself. People pay for it. You can do it. You can do it yourself. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm strong. I'm whatever you line them up, make them rhyme, do whatever you want to do with them. You tell yourself over and over and over and over and over and over. That's rote memorization. And then sooner or later, somebody say, you be like, Johnny, what's 2 times 4? What's 2 times 2? 4. And he'll be looking out the window. You'll be like, you finally got it. Yeah. It's the same thing. Somebody will say something to you, you'll be like, yeah, that's what it is. And somebody will be like, they'll realize you changed. They'll realize even before you do. Just like sometimes you get tall and somebody's like, man, you grew. Sometimes people realize things about you even before you do. You'll realize that you have become something you wanted to be even before you realized it. You'll realize that you actually arrived and you didn't even realize it because it came so naturally. It just sunk into your subconscious and you believed it, and then it expressed itself. Right? So 1, that's rote memorization. 2, conversation. What are you saying to yourself when you're walking up and down the hallway at work? What are you saying to yourself when you're cooking? What are you saying to yourself? If you're just talking to you, no one's talking to you, not having a conversation. If you're just talking to you, what are you saying? What are you thinking and feeling yourself to be? Right? You do it over and just talk to yourself. Man, I'm great. Man, everything is working out for me. Everything is working for my highest and best good. It's better than what they telling you. It's better than what they telling you. Right? But there's a reason they're telling you. That's my last point. There's a reason they're telling you, because they know if they keep telling you, just like Hitler, they keep telling you, they'll rule all of your mind and half the population. Like he ruled all of Germany and half of Europe, making it big enough, bold enough, and constant. So be big and bold and constant in what you say to yourself. Constantly be big and bold and constant. Why do you believe in that little short dude instead of yourself? But it's because most people don't know themselves. So the person who does controls everybody who doesn't. That's why. And the person that labeled a bad person, this or this, but if a bad person is controlling your mind, but you're a good person and you don't control your mind, so you're either as bad as they are or you're dumb. One of the two. For listening to a bad person. But then why did you give them the keys to your mind? You wouldn't even let them in your house. And you let them in your mind? Right? So these are the things that we have to understand. These are 2 things today, and then I'll let us ask questions. 2 things that you can do today to develop the I, to make it bigger so that it's bigger than a lot of things you have to do. So that anything that you attach that I to can handle, put a little thing so you can see it. Right? So you have a job, you have, let's say, kids, you have a business, you have, a relationship, you have taxes to pay, you have a car note, you have, a mortgage, you have, mort means, this really means death grip. Mortgage means death grip. Mort means death, gauge means grip. It's a French word. That's what they labeled a mortgage, death grip. But anyway, mortgage, whatever. Let's just stop here. We've all got 1,000 more than that. And now this I has to do all of that. Now, does that look like that's going to work out for most people? Do we wonder why we feel overwhelmed? This ain't even rocket science when you sit down and think about it. There's no way. I mean, can you imagine attaching all this to that little thing? We might as well attach our car to our children and be like, pool, fool, come on, pool, earn your keep. Let's get it. Come on, you want to eat, you eat more than everybody. You want that organic Gerber, don't you? Well, let's go. Well, we got to pull this car. We got to get to work. Let's go. And it's both of us, so we can get in the carpool lane. Come on, let's go. Make it snappy. We're attaching all these things to this little thing. So if we want, there's nothing wrong with all these things. We have multiple areas of life we're living. We're not just here to be one thing. So, but the reason these things feel bad is because this is too small. Our eye is too small. So what we need to do essentially is grow this up so that this, and it's like that. There's 8 billion people. The sun ain't struggling to heat up anybody that need it. Moon is lights up the sky to anybody who need it. It's only one thing. You're only one thing, so that's all you need to be. So you can, like, if it can light up 8 billion people, you can do a couple things. Get over it, grow up, suck it up, right? We got to grow and develop, and that's what we're doing here every weekend, and then taking what we learn on the weekend and applying it every day. All right. That's it for today. I want to open it up for questions. And anything else anybody has?
Yeah, Marcus put in the chat, and be patient, correct? It might not happen overnight.
No, nothing happens overnight. Did anybody do anything overnight? I mean, let me know. Nothing is going to happen overnight. Everything that you are good at, whether you like it or not, it didn't happen overnight. So this is no different. Some things now you just realize are worth the time putting in, and some things you realize were not, that you wasted. This is not a waste. This is, once you grow this, everything else, you can attach 50 other things. So yes, be patient. Be patient with you. You be patient with your kids, but you're not patient with yourself. You give your kids the best, it won't give you nothing. Right? Because a lot of times we've lost the value in ourselves as adults, and we see the best of ourselves in our kids. So we'll give them anything, 50 chances, 60 opportunities, best shoes, best bikes, sit up there at their games, and they suck. And they're only 8 years old, killing each other, running into each other, slapping the ball in their face, doing all kind of other stuff. They're no good most of the time, most of them, but we love them. We don't judge them on that. We know that's part of their growth and development. It's the same thing for ourselves, right? I mean, everybody going to an 8-year-old basketball game. Maybe I say basketball a lot because I've been a basketball trainer for over 20 years. I mean, Kevin Durant has not, and Steph Curry ain't nowhere near there. And when watching 8-year-olds, but we don't judge them for that. We are happy that they're just out there because we understand it's a process. Give yourself the same love, the same kind, the same consideration, the same support. Clap for yourself when you do even the smallest of things. When an 8-year-old passes to an 8-year-old and they catch it, everybody's like, "Oh, bravo, bravo!" Because we realize, shoot, that's just that is an accomplishment at this point. Right? And after the game, guess what? Everybody wins. Everybody getting juice boxes, snacks, going out to eat with the other team. They don't even care who won after a while. Right? So give yourself the same life, the same love, the same support, the same respect, the same opportunity, the same patience, the same guidance, the same opportunities. Give yourself the same. When did you lose the love for yourself? When did that happen? Right? So, yes, patience.
Everyone's laughing at the kid part because I'm assuming, like, I think Kim knows exactly what you're talking about with being there with the kids and the games, and I know Marcus does, so they're kind of laughing at that analogy. Yeah.
All right. So that's what it's for. We have to, if we love ourselves enough to be patient and kind to ourselves, we can learn anything. We can do anything. A lot of things that we don't accomplish is because we weren't patient enough and kind enough to ourselves to go through the time necessary to learn it. Just time and repetition. That's it. So you learn multiplication, so you learn how to type, so you learn how to drive, so you learn how to talk on a phone, so you learn how to dial a phone, program a phone, everything.
Yeah, Sarah put in the chat, I need to learn this. I'm hard on myself. And Kim said, reparenting yourself.
Yes. Yes. Because that's the whole point, is that you are the parent of your existence. If you give that away, if you want to adopt yourself out, and let somebody else do it for you, which is what the radio's doing, TV's doing, and everybody else is doing to you, you've now lost your mind because it's not yours. They've commandeered it, they've hijacked it, right? And yes, we have to relearn. We have to, in order, somebody said it, I don't remember who it was, but it said the new slave essentially is going to be a person who can't unlearn, learn, or relearn. If we're not willing to give up a whole lot of beliefs and concepts and information that we realize now is a hot mess and some junk, we're going to be up here reheating the same garbage. Right? So we have to realize that we have to get rid of things that we look at and say, does this thought I have in my mind is this really going to make me be what I want to be? Is this really a contributing ingredient? Just because I've always thought it because somebody else told me, yeah, but I realized I tried to cook with this for 10 years and I still ain't got no cake yet. I only got a Pop-Tart at best. Right? So I'm saying, yes, we do. There's a lot of, in order to grow, there's things that we're going to have to remodel, things that we're going to have to eliminate completely. There ain't no way to fix that thought, that idea, there's no way to manage cancer. Eliminate it. There's no way to manage high blood pressure. Eliminate it. There's no way to manage diabetes. Eliminate it. You have to eliminate it first out of your mind, the concept of you being the possessor of it. You have to become the person who doesn't have that. Anybody who doesn't have that doesn't need that medicine. But you have to condition your mind to become the person who has it. Meaning, who is the person who doesn't need that. That takes time. Take your medicine along the way, but condition your mind. Meditate, clear the board. You get a new body every 13 months or so. Completely new from top, head to toe. Completely new. Everything is regenerated. So that means if you had cancer for 4 years, that means your mind is still sending the same signals to your cells in your body to say, keep the party going. You're still thinking the same thoughts and having the same feelings. A great person to lift, 2 great people to listen to that we'll put in the chat is Dr. Bruce Lipton. He talks about the biology of beliefs and epigenetics. Epi means on top. And he's talking about how most people think that just what they're living with is hereditary, just genetics. And they've come out with a new scientific proof, and I don't know, years now, but decades now, but called epigenetics, which means more powerful than your genes are your thoughts that regulate your genes. So when your thoughts go awry, it sends signals to your genes that cause chaos, called disease. But dis-ease started here. When your thoughts went awry, it caused disease. Dis-ease causes disease. And epigenetics talks about how when you change your thoughts, they have proof that in the body, your cells change and creates the healing, the difference in the new thought. What's his name? Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, basically talks about mind-body coherence, how your mind and your body have to become one in order to be anything, but especially if we want to be what most people aren't, which is healthy, whole, safe, whatever else it is. And talking about how when you condition your mind through affirmations, meaning just constant conversation and thoughts about who you are and what you want to be, you are predicting your future. You're visioning what you're going to experience. You're envisioning. You're seeing from the inside, you're seeing a vision, something that's going to happen in the future, and you're taking it as now. And when you perceive that and feel that to be true as now, your body, your subconscious mind, your body can't tell the difference. So it starts to promote and produce that now.
Sarah put in the chat, I had to my dad on a time limit because the math is the N in negative. My dad's the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's okay. It's ignorance of who we are. What that means is if our true self, the I, this thing that we're talking about, right? The true, when we go into that dot, when we go into this dot right here with all the circles and all that stuff, this dot is what, like I said, we call God or the universe or creator, whatever. Well, this dot, basically, this thing that's in us, this power in us is we are a piece of the whole. So we have the same power completely as the whole power, right? We're just individualized versions of it. So if we realize that we were the God of our life, the creator of our existence, of our reality, then we would realize that whatever the creator said is what goes. So when the creator said, let there be light, there's the sun out. So if we knew that we were the creator, we'd watch what we say. So it's just the ignorance. It's the lack of knowledge of who we are. So we'll say things that if we knew who we were, we would never say that. Right? So, hey, thank you all. It's been a great fast 2 hours, like always.
I'd like to add that please be patient with us as we're trying to figure out the best way to do notifications and the emails going out for reoccurring situations. So thank you everyone for your patience, and definitely thank you for joining. We are doing this every Saturday, and just a little secret for now, the Zoom link is going to be the same for now in case you don't receive a notification and you want to come in next Saturday, but we're working on it. So just thank you definitely for your patience.
Yeah, thank you all. Have a wonderful week. Put it into practice. That's what we're here for. We're not here to play church and just be singing, shouting, screaming, sweating, and going out and still taking an L all week until we can get back and crawl up for the prayer line. It's not what this is for, right? We're here to take this information and to apply it with patience, with kindness, but with consistency. And with anything, you'll get better and better and better. It'll make more sense. Things will start coming to your own ideas about how to express your own uniqueness and your own individuality on this planet. So you won't feel the need to compete with anybody, you won't feel the need to compare yourself to anybody, because you'll know who you are and you'll know that that's all you've ever wanted to be or needed to be. And it's more than enough for the journey. Right. So, hey, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you all. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. It's my first time, so thank you.
Oh, who is this?
Kira.
Oh, Sierra. Oh, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, hope to see you again.
Will do.